Hello and welcome to the Paris Motor Show 2018. You're joining Car Magazine in a very hot car on the Citroën stand, and we're going to dissect what's going on. I'm joined, I'm pleased to say, by the editor of Car Magazine, Ben Miller, and in the back we've got Jake Rose, our staff writer. So, gents, how has it gone so far? What's caught your eye, Ben?
It's been good. I mean, catching my eye has been two very different Renaults. So Renault have delivered a third of their triptych of sort of autonomous robo concepts, as they call them. So they've had Easy Go and Easy Pro and Easy Ultimo here, which does make me laugh, because it's kind of this idea of normally these concepts are kind of quite pod-like, quite sort of futuristic and a bit dull. And this one is this lavish sort of thing, 6 meters long, that looks like pure concept car sort of fantasy, really. And it is, but it's a lovely thing. And they've sort of explored this idea of the extension of a posh hotel or a first-class airline lounge as a kind of app-hailable pod. So it's a nice twist on it, and it's basically Laurence van der Acker saying, design is not dead.
Right. Which is good to hear. Good to hear.
The future is good. And then on the flip side, completely on the polar opposite, is the Trophy 300 Megane, which Renault are sort of saying this is the car that everybody should have waited for in terms of the Honda Civic Type R twin test. But obviously we're simple creatures and we just got stuck in. But
Have they got their mojo back? Because for many years Renault Sport were basically bossing the hot hatch scene. I think we were under the impression that they had a bit of a kind of wonky period with the Clio RS. Are they back on form with the new model?
They were definitely stung by the feedback to Clio RS, and I think it powered both the development of the new Megane and the Alpine A110 in a strange way as well, and made them sort of go back to basics a bit. And the Trophy's kind of it's the Megane we're waiting for. So a bit more power. It's got the Cup chassis as standard, fancy brakes as standard, and it's got some very nice lower set Recaros. So it should be quite a tool.
And the home show, obviously. Now, Jake, you've actually been hanging out quite a lot with PSA, I believe. Again, home turf. Yeah. What are the French showing on their home turf, and are they on the front foot?
I think they are. I think they're slowly getting there. I think the general theme is just everything's kind of plugging in at the minute. You've got Peugeot's got 508. That's the fastback and the estate plugging in. There's the 3008 plug-in as well. DS have the 3 crossback and the 7 crossback that have got plug-in versions, and so in Citroën as well. It pretty much looks production ready, but they've sort of shown off a C5 Aircross plug-in concept as well. So they're sort of rolling out that whole mantra of we need to get everything electrified now.
It's I guess we're seeing that across all the stands, aren't we? Now, one of the things that's very hard to come to this show this year and not think it's a little bit smaller than it has been before. Yeah. I mean, literally all the car brands are squeezed into 2 halls, pretty much.
It was funny. I went to the Ferrari press conference, and they've got the SP1 and SP2 Monzas here, and they were sort of I think they were a little bit miffed, shall we say, that they were next to the Moke stand. So whoever still makes them under license.
This stuff matters. When they're paying, these guys are paying. I don't have a checkbook to look at, but it's going to be. It's probably millions, isn't it? It's six figures at least, if not millions. And yet these things matter. And I know somebody has hinted to me that in fact Ferrari may not come in 2 years' time, and I worry this is a terminal decline.
Yeah, I mean certainly, as I say, the mood on there today would suggest that that's not far wide of the mark.
I think it's sort of half and half. There's a lot of brands that are just saying we simply haven't come because we've got nothing to show. So there's sort of that side of their product cycles just haven't matched right. But then, as you say, there's the other half of actually, do we think motor shows are really that worth it? Sort of a lot of brands now are sort of getting behind the idea that it's not quite as worth it as they.
Why launch your product on a platform with 58 other or 100 other, world debuts on the same day?
When you can take up a day showing off the car yourself,
which is a shame. It's people who have been going to motor shows all their life, and for enthusiasts, people into cars, what a great thing. And
Paris, BMW completely disagree, because they've absolutely launched everything here.
They have, haven't they? I mean, 3 Series,
Z4, X5, 8 Series.
It's extraordinary. It's like, that is literally a year or 2 years worth of motor show debuts in one day.
Solid sort of car garage, isn't it? Sort of 3 Series, X5.
Have you had a chance to look at Z4?
Bits of it,
It's quite a controversial car design-wise, isn't it?
And the 3 Series, some of the debate online has been about, the 3 Series just looks like the old one. Is it definitely the new one?
So many.
And yet it wraps up, the technology underneath is bang up to date. And I think we're in this kind of age, aren't we, where the idea that a car is going to be brand new and look very different every time, particularly the Germans, that's not the way they want it.
No, and I think Kruger was on stage saying saying that the 3 Series is still BMW as far as they're concerned. I mean, what is it? Something like 15 million 3 Series sold since the beginning, and they can't afford to throw the baby off. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think it's a lot about it's that sort of smartphone mantra that they sort of improve it very regularly, maybe once a year, maybe every 18 months or something. And I'm sort of witnessing a lot more car makers doing similar things to their sort of perennial big selling models. Instead of going wild and revealing a new generation every 10 years, they're sort of saying, actually, we'll just tweak it a little bit.
Car as white goods, though, is it? Car as white goods?
Well, I'd say Renault disagreeing, but I mean, I think the thing with the 3 Series is it may not be massively aesthetically progressive, but we've already driven it in prototype form. George Cack has driven it, and James Taylor from the magazine, and both were super impressed, and both are hard men to please dynamically. So, I mean, they launched, I think it was a 330 or 340i, so it's not the M, on the Nürburgring, and it was astonishingly good.
And this is encouraging. If we're sort of melting pot of electrification coming in, and the new 3 Series is going to have some FEV activity there, and possibly a full electric version as well in time. If that's coming in, and the connectivity, that's coming in too, that's a big message with the new 3 Series. And yes, if it's still good to drive, well, actually, there's hope for us, yes, isn't there?
Yeah. No, there is. Yeah. And at complete other end of the scale, you've got as I said, the Ferrari Monza, which was unveiled at that Capital Markets Day last month, and is here as a sort of show debut. And it's just, as everybody else is talking about, connected, self-driving, and electric. Here's a V12 without a windscreen. So it's pretty good.
And Porsche have popped up here. They've confirmed the 911 Speedster, the sort of farewell for the 991, and the Macan is launching as well. So the sports car makers are here, aren't they?
Yeah.
And yet the Astons and Lamborghinis are not, and yet they've got their dealers. The local Parisian dealers have come along and actually done quite a good show on the Lamborghini. They've got an Urus, they've got pretty much all the current range there, so it's interesting to see. Now, I don't know about you, I've been in a few interviews with some top brass where we've been talking about the hot issues of the day, and one of them that's come up is Brexit. I don't know if you've had any bumped into people. It seems to be dominating, particularly the UK manufacturers. So I spent some time with Dr. Ralph Spett, the chief exec at Jaguar Land Rover, and absolutely terrifying. We're on the abyss of some really interesting times, I think. They're beginning to come out and issue very public warnings, aren't they, about hang on, this is going to seriously screw up our production. They are,
JLR's been very vocal,
extraordinary. Thousands of cars a day being built. The numbers of components that go into those cars are staggering. Like millions of components a day required to build those cars. Toss it all up and big risk. And I think I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen. We're in the 11 and a half hour, frankly, to try and fix this. And I know a lot of the big wigs of the car makers are really paranoid about it.
I've had similar sort of conversations about that. I spent some time with Linda Jackson just this morning. There's sort of less of a we're on a cliff edge kind of talk. It's more about we just need to know what's going on, basically. I think that's the sort of general clarification, and that's she's not the only one. There's plenty of other people besides that saying we just need a clue, so we know what to focus on, what to invest in, or what to, essentially keep an eye on in the future, really. So
it's quite bizarre not having the kind of big mainstream brands here, don't you think? I mean, not having a Ford, not a Vauxhall, an Opel. It's we've mentioned the French brands clearly, but not having the big players. It's
Mercedes are here. Have you seen them? I haven't been to Mercedes.
Mercedes are here. They've got the B class.
Quite a big stand, actually. It's the B class new A35. So that's a sort of warmish A class.
Yeah, that should be good.
With quite a sort of a wing that's basically. Getting a lot of attention. A lot of people sort of saying, "Is it? Do we really need that on a warm hatch?" But it's a bit over the top. But so there's that, and the Smart 4Es, which is a little dinky 2-seat smart cabriolet.
Okay, yeah.
I think the A35 is an interesting one. We've got Hyundai have come out. If you're i30N, one of our favourite hot hatches of recent years, it's a little bit too tame. You can now come and do the N option package. Speaking of that personalisation, we've seen this trend obviously really cool, for a long time. And meanwhile, over at Kia, quite an interesting one. They've launched the Pro Ceed, which used to be a three-door Ceed. It's like a sporty one. It's like completely changed, but kept the same name, and it's now a shooting brake. Speaking of Mercedes,
and a good-looking shooting brake, isn't it?
It's very good looking, but they have actually, intriguingly, they've got a regular estate, and then they've got the shooting brake, which is it's quite unusual. So they apparently the three-door hatchbacks are disappearing. We all know that Volkswagen, various brands are axing three-door hatchbacks. It's a dying breed. And Kia were told, no, you can't have a 3-door seat this time, and they're like, oh, that's a bit of a shame. And they went away, and the design team, as so often happens, you know, they went away creatively. They weren't told to. They just went away in their own time. They're like, this is not good enough. We want to do something different, and propose this, and it kind of caught people's eyes. First of all in Frankfurt, and then they went over to Korea, got it signed off.
Nice.
So yeah,
Not have any punctuation either in the name.
the punctuation was disastrous, wasn't it? You know, commas, underscores.
Apparently, I do believe that the reason why they got rid of it genuinely is because it was easier to Google without it. I think that was one of the main reasons why they got rid of it.
You can tell you work in digital. So the SEO implications are shocking. But
that's genuinely one of the reasons why they thought we should probably get rid of all of these apostrophes and underscores. Well, it was just causing carnage.
In my head, there's a good sub-editor who's got a job at Kia, and it's just getting rid of all this linguistic anarchy. What have you not seen that you want to go and see, gents? What else is on your hit list?
What, here today? I need to go and see these BMWs up close. I really want to see 8 Series and Z4. I say both have sort of had mixed reviews, I think, in terms of their design. I think BMW sort of need to reassert their authority in that field. So I'm going to go and take a look at those and see what they're like in the metal, as they say. Jake?
Yeah, I think I haven't spent a lot of time at the Renault stand actually. I'd quite like to sort of get a bit sort of closer to those easy concepts, the Go and the latest
Ultimo.
That's it, that's the one. So yeah, I want to sort of spend a bit more time and actually get to know what these things are all about, really.
And I think, you know, as a sort of just a sign off, I mean, this show we talked about, you know, will it actually, has it got a future? I'm worried for it. I really am. I don't know. It has a little bit of a hallmarks of Birmingham 2000 or London, you know, the London show. I wonder if it will continue. I think more brands, I fear, will not go. We've seen Detroit they're talking about moving Detroit to the summer. You know, I mean, unless you're Geneva, I'm not sure if these motor shows are going to be here. So who knows if we'll be here in 2 years' time or not. I suspect the local brands will clearly want to keep coming.
I guess with these things, there's got to be a critical mass, hasn't it? And once they fall below that, and you haven't got, you know, just two or three more big hitters absent, then the whole thing kind of implodes. I'm no expert, but like you say, I wouldn't be surprised if we're not here in 3-4 years' time. Certainly,
which is a shame, because I mean, in 2 years' time, you know, I think the electrification will be in full swing by then. We'll be finding out if, you know, the cars you're seeing here are still making up a very small percentage of sales, aren't they? And you know, the infrastructure's slowly coming, the product's coming. We're in this kind of it feels like a tipping point to me.
It was interesting last night at Carlos Ghosn's presentation, because he was talking about this the Renault that they're doing building in China to sell in China, so super cheap, you know, competing with Chinese products, but obviously having far better build quality and equipment levels. But you know, he was saying 500,000 pure EVs sold in China last year, and it is a lot of cars, but you still think it's not, you know, it's not actually that many in terms of the number of cars sold in China last year. So yeah, but they're, you know, it's on the increase, isn't it? Obviously, very rapidly indeed.
Indeed. Well, we hope you've enjoyed that. A very quick catch up from the show floor at the Paris Motor Show. Do log on to carmagazine.co.uk to read all our reports here live from Paris. We've got the best bits, we've got the sort of some of the disappointments, we've got analysis, photo galleries. There's lots there, and be sure to comment below and let us know what you think. So, thank you for joining us, and from us, it's au revoir, and we'll see you at the next show. Bye bye.